9/11 20 years ago. It was a gorgeous day, and it was the second week of school. I'm Betty Blackburn. I am the retired art educator from Gates Elementary School in Chesterfield County. And the first thing I remember is that my art colleague, with whom I taught, had stepped out of the room for a moment, and she came back to the door, and she opened the door just a little bit, and the look, I wish I could describe the look on her face. Obviously something was wrong, and I said, "What's going on?" She said, "You have to come now." I said, "What in the world?" She said, she was barely able to get out the words, "planes, buildings." At one point, it was so crowded in that little room, one of my colleagues and I, she was standing beside me and I was up on the counter, and we literally had our arms around each other, crying and holding each other because it was all becoming so clear as to what was happening. Tower 1 had already been hit, and it was almost a feeling of things tumbling forward from that time. The next thing I remember, they split the screen, they showed New York, they showed the Pentagon, and that was the moment, of course, at which we all knew we were under attack. We were given very specific instructions by our then principal that we were not to tell the children what had happened. She felt, and I think quite rightly, that they needed to get this information from their family members, their parents, and so forth. So the challenge the rest of the day became to push on through and not betray what we knew and what we felt. And that was one of the hardest days I think we have ever taught. I had an idea later in the month to develop a display in our cafeteria. We have 4 boards across, and I drew out on huge bulletin board paper, I drew out an American flag in black and white, field blue and stripes. And the children would gather at that time in the morning before they were dismissed to go to class. So kids who were being brought to school and so forth would gather in there. And I just put out a few little desks, and I had a box of blue paper, a box of red paper, and glue bottles. And we developed an American flag that was pieced together bit by bit, and everybody got to participate, students and staff alike, and we watched it develop. And that flag still exists, I believe, in the art room.